You are listening to the Vibrant Life Podcast, episode 33.
The Vibrant Life.
Hey you, welcome back to the Vibrant Life Podcast. I'm Emily Romrell, and it's another beautiful day. This is one of my favorite times of the year. Fall has fell, the leaves are beautiful, and another session of General Conference is happening this weekend. For friends who aren't familiar with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you can learn more on the show notes or at my website, emilyromrell.com. But basically, General Conference is just where our church leaders share inspirational messages to help us navigate everything that's happening in our lives during these crazy times. And people from all backgrounds are welcome. And if you have an open mind and an open heart, I know that you're going to have a great experience. So the first session actually airs tomorrow, October 2nd at 10 a.m. You can go to churchofjesuschrist.org, or it's also on YouTube. So I hope you'll check it out. I love General Conference. And as this conference is approaching, and just with kind of the way the world is right now, I've been thinking a lot about tolerance and also how easily it is for people to be offended or for people to be offensive without knowing it. And this is a sensitive topic, so I hope you'll keep an open mind and heart, just like I mentioned. But I also do feel compelled to share some of my feelings, and everything that I do share in this podcast is said with kind intentions. So let's talk about whether to be or not to be offended. We live in an amazing time in history. With the internet, just about any information you want is at your fingertips. It's wonderful. And with social media, you can share your thoughts and messages instantly across the globe. This podcast is an example of that. With technology, the world is more connected than it's ever been. But in other ways, we're more disconnected than ever. And the problem is that with the ease of technology, people can choose exactly what they want to show you and what they want to omit. I honestly hate the term fake news, but the truth is that it's all over the place. You know, I had a heck of a time choosing the artwork for this show. I finally settled on some colorful clothespins because I remember playing with clothespins as a kid and pinching my fingers. And also, I think diversity is wonderful and colorful, right? I love making friends with people from other backgrounds and cultures. I love learning how other people think and how they see the world. But diversity brings a lot of different opinions into contact with each other. And the truth is, we all have our different pinch points. Most of us believe we're tolerant and accepting until we get a pinch, right? I mean, being a member of the LDS Church can be a problem for some people. And I've had some frustrating experiences as a single woman in the workforce. And there's so much conflict and contention right now. Everyone is polarized, whether it's about politics or race or religion or the COVID vaccine. Pick any topic you want. I don't care to go into any of my personal opinions in this episode. The thing I want to focus on is just what the title says: to be or not to be offended. And 9 times out of 10, I just want to channel that meme of the delightful lady where she says, "Ain't nobody got time for that." And while we're talking about delightful people, there's a quote by Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty. You might remember him from a while back. And he said, "Our culture has accepted 2 huge lies. The first is that if you disagree with someone's lifestyle, you must fear or hate them. The second is that to love someone means you agree with everything they believe or do. Both are nonsense. You don't have to compromise convictions to be compassionate." I love that, and it's true. There is a predominating feeling in society that if you're not for us, then you're against us. That's a lie. Sometimes you're going to fundamentally disagree with someone. No one gets through life without conflict. But rather than having shouting matches over who's right, let's make a little space for each other. Follow the example of your kids and take a time out. There are a lot of times I think we need to remember the lessons we teach our children as adults. Here's the thing about conflict. I'm a big reader and a writer, and I know that conflict is what makes a story. Without it, all you got is a boring list of events. And you are the hero of your own story, but you need supporting characters. And how you treat those supporting characters determines your destiny. The question is, what kind of story are you going to make out of your life? Adventure, fairy tale, or horror story? It's up to you. Another really great message on choosing not to be offended is a talk by David A. Bednar. And you guessed it, it's from a previous general conference back in October 2006. The talk is titled, "And Nothing Shall Offend Them." Elder Bednar explains, when we believe or say we have been offended, we usually mean we feel insulted, mistreated, snubbed, or disrespected. And certainly clumsy, embarrassing, unprincipled, mean-spirited things do occur in our interactions with other people that would allow us to take offense. However, it is ultimately impossible for another person to offend you or to offend me. Indeed, believing that another person offended us is fundamentally false. To be offended is a choice we make. It's not a condition inflicted or imposed upon us by someone or something else. A similar sentiment was also eloquently expressed by Eleanor Roosevelt when she said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." Okay, so we've covered the concepts that choosing to be offended is a choice, that it's okay to disagree sometimes, and ain't nobody got time for that. I think we all know deep down that choosing to be kind can often be better than choosing to be right. But that doesn't mean, though, that you shouldn't stand up for what you believe in. And even if you yourself are tolerant, it can feel like walking a tightrope when you need to express yourself and society is waiting for you to fall so they can point fingers at you and yell. I really dislike political correctness, mostly because what is politically correct changes all the time. And honestly, if people take the time to listen with an open heart and an open mind, they can sense whether what you're saying comes from a place of sincerity or with malicious intent. The trick is opening up those hearts and minds. The trolls are out there and they're relocating. Instead of lurking under bridges, they're online. Haters are gonna hate, and the best advice I have is just to take that line from Taylor Swift and shake it off. However, it's also important to be willing to be educated and open to change if we do something that is hurtful, even unintentionally. We need to realize that everyone has biases that come with the culture they were raised in, and it's okay to scrutinize our beliefs and behaviors and change if necessary. Not only is that okay, it's vital. One of the best examples and proponents of these concepts is Brené Brown. I know I've mentioned her a few times before on this podcast, but she really is amazing. She has a couple different podcasts herself that are really worth checking out, and I can't remember what podcast it was she used this story, but this is a great example of what I'm talking about. So one day, Brené Brown posted something online about someone or something being her spirit animal. And that's really common, right? Social media these days, I think I've done it myself about having said someone or something is a spirit animal. But a Native American commented that in their culture, spirit animals are sacred and they felt disrespected by the blithe way that it's being used in the internet and things like that. And I think Brené actually handled the situation really gracefully. She apologized and brought awareness by talking about this experience on her podcast. And there was no shame or anger really on either side, right? But Brené Brown owned up to the fact that she acted in ignorance. And then everybody just moved forward with their lives. No harm, no foul, right? The takeaway from that story is that it's okay to be wrong sometimes. And what is the opposite of offense? Defense, right? I feel like maybe we should be at a football game. But it's really easy to get defensive when someone tries to educate us on those sensitive pinch points. And they're sensitive for a reason. But we can all channel our inner Brené Brown and give vulnerability a chance. You know, we're told to be more kind and more loving so often that we can become desensitized to what that really means. But it's the truth. Kindness and love will get you farther along in life than anything else. I want to end today with the best definition of those things that I know. Charity. Charity is the pure love of Christ, right? And this is one of my favorite chapters in the scriptures. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we read, "Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains, and have not charity, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned, and have not charity, it profiteth me nothing. Charity suffereth long, and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up, doth not behave itself unseemly, seeketh not her own, is not easily provoked, thinketh no evil, rejoiceth not in iniquity, but rejoiceth in the truth, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Charity never faileth. But whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I am part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity." So, the challenge this week is to channel charity. Take a look at your behavior and attitudes and see if maybe you could be a little kinder. If someone gets you in one of those pinch points, shake it off and decide what kind of character you are going to be in your life story. The world is a beautiful place, full of beautiful, colorful people in every sense of the word colorful. Don't be offended. Ain't nobody got time for that. Live the vibrant life. Hey you, don't forget, subscribe to the podcast, and if you're feeling generous, leave a review. Share the show with your friends and family. And the last 3 months of 2021 are upon us. This is the time to order the Vibrant Life Goal Planner and end the year with a successful bang. So you can find all that stuff on my website, emilyromrell.com. Thanks for your support, peeps. Live the vibrant life.